hearing. So Kathy, it's now your turn.
Great, thank you very much.
Sheehan.
This was so great to hear the questions and the concerns and the ideas from a very diverse group of people. I'm Kathy Sheehan and I'm running for mayor. And I've been the city treasurer since 2010. I came into office because I wanted to see accountability and transparency in my city government. I was frustrated with what I was seeing. I was frustrated with not feeling as though our city government was really representing the people who live in our city. And so I walked into City Hall in 2010, and I really felt as though I stepped back in time. And it was not just because I was in an historic building. It was because our city government has not invested in the 21st century tools that we need to give to our employees so that they can do their jobs and work on these very issues that are frustrating to everyone, like vacant and abandoned buildings, like ineffective code enforcement, which is the issue that you're talking about with the sidewalks, like making sure that the residents in our city are connected to jobs that are supposed to be created by the things that our city government is doing to create economic development. And so I started, a couple of years ago, doing the type of engagement that you asked about. I asked friends and people that I knew to invite me to their home, to a public place, a coffee house, invite me into their living room, invite their neighbors and their friends so that we could have a conversation about our city, about what people love about Albany, why they live here, what their hopes and dreams are for the city, for their family, for their future. And it was out of those conversations that I became determined that I had the leadership style and the background and the experience that we needed to move our city forward. So let me talk about some of the issues that you raised. We struggle with economic development in this city. And economic development does start, to me, with focusing on what is here. Every single neighborhood. We have everything that we need to be a successful city. We've just lost sight of it. We need a city government that is going to recognize that we need to focus on fixing our neighborhoods, supporting small businesses, and attracting small business to invest in our community. And also providing the opportunity for the people who live here to start their own businesses, to invest in the vacant and abandoned properties that are here. So what are some of the ways that we can do that? A land bank is a tool for doing it. I'm not suggesting that we repeat the mistakes of other places, but the way that the state law works now, and until that changes, a land bank right now is a tool that's available in New York State for us to get properties out of the foreclosure crazy cycle where we treat our neighborhoods like we're going to sell their houses off to the highest bidder who shows up on a Tuesday with a bank check, which is, to me, social injustice, and allows us to take it out of that crazy cycle, step back, and find the best and highest use for that property based on what the neighbors in that neighborhood want. You look at vacant property. Tearing down buildings and creating vacant lots does not change a neighborhood. In many ways, it makes it worse. And we've talked tonight about environmental sustainability. Every single one of those lots presents a potential opportunity for us to bring nutrition, to bring healthy foods into our neighborhoods. We talk about linking them to a park system. We could also have linkages to a system where we can get fresh foods in our neighborhoods. That's all here. We have the ability to do it now. And it doesn't cost millions of dollars. My approach is to say, let's focus on hitting singles and doubles. If we take care of the fundamentals, there is nothing that our city can't accomplish. And when you start with something that is regionally relevant, by asking the residents of Albany what we want, you look around Albany and you see the vestiges of things that came out of people telling us what we needed instead of asking us what we wanted. The Empire State Plaza would never look the way that it does if somebody had asked the residents of Albany what we wanted. 787 wouldn't look the way that it does if somebody had asked the people who lived here what we wanted. And my leadership style is to engage with our community everywhere that I can so that we can have a conversation about what we want for our city moving forward. I look at that convention center site and I see the oldest structure in our city. It'll take about $200,000. Historic Albany owns it now. About $200,000 to stabilize that structure. So before we start talking about building a convention center or a community college, all of which may be perfectly good ideas, why don't we start by looking at what we have and how we grow that? So let's talk about the arts in that. You know, this is a city that is blessed with many, multiple opportunities to engage in the arts. We have free theater in Washington Park. We have Cap Rep. We have many culturals. But what we don't have is a lot of coordination. So we get 5,000 here and 10,000 there, and the city has never had a coordinated approach to the arts. It's starting to happen. It is starting to happen, and we need to hold that up and bring it forward, because if people feel as though it's theirs, right, is asking us what we want, now we take ownership of it, and we want to support it, and we want to move it forward. You know, the issues that we have in our city around quality of life are issues that if we simply take a step back as city government and say, what are we here for? We are here because of the people in this room. We represent the residents of our city. And I want to treat this city the way that I would want to be treated. And we need to do that with our entire city workforce. One, by encouraging them to live in the city. Not enough of our employees live in the city of Albany. We need to get them to move into the city, because every day 70% of our payroll leaves the city. So we need to encourage and find ways to have our workforce live in the city. Secondly, we need leadership in our city. I need the people who will be helping me to move the city forward to look like our city. We currently have a city government where every commissioner that's been appointed by the mayor is a white male. This city, look around, this city is diverse. I celebrate its diversity. It's one of the reasons many of us choose to live here and want to live here. So we need leadership that looks like our city. I cannot lead a city if I don't have that diversity in leadership. And so we need to change that. And that is one thing that will absolutely change. When we talk about the lack of retail and again, it impacts our ability to provide jobs. I really would like to start with local. Again, you know, chain stores, okay, but you know, local businesses are really the lifeblood of this city. And when you look at our neighborhoods, even the neighborhoods where you have disinvestment, you can see what was there, the local market. You know, a place where you could go and have dinner with your family. You know, a lot of people tell me, I'd like a place, let's start with a place where I can buy shoes. You know, and I think many of the small businesses that we have along Central Avenue have created such a diversity to our city. But one of the things about Central Avenue is it's difficult to navigate. Cars go too fast. We've got to slow people down so that they can really see the jewels that are here. Because this is the century of the city. It really is. People want to live in urban, walkable, environmentally sustainable environments. And so, from the standpoint of how we develop our city going forward, I propose that we use what's called, you know, a triple bottom line. Let's look at the economic impact, the environmental impact, and the social justice impact of all of the decisions that we're making. Every project that the city embarks on needs to be seen through those three lenses, and we need to have a community conversation around it. We do have fiscal challenges. As the treasurer, I have a very deep understanding of our city's finances, but we have a strong mayor form of government. If it's in the budget, I have to write the check. I don't participate in creating the budget, but I see tremendous opportunity for us to use the resources that we have in a way that is far more focused on the residents who live here and on making sure that every single one of our neighborhoods is safe and that every single one of our children has an opportunity to succeed. So one of the things that I have worked on for the entire time I've been in office is in a project called the Albany Promise. It's not perfect. It's a promise that still remains to have a lot of work behind it. But today we had a meeting, and we're starting. We're starting by focusing on early childhood education and making sure that every provider in our city, everyone who's providing pre-K services, licensed or unlicensed, receives the same training as our preschool teachers do, so that they have access to the Common Core, to the expectations that are in place for our children, and what they will need to know when they're in kindergarten. It's never been done before. Everybody's sharing their resources, getting people in the room and having those difficult conversations with one another about how do we stop working in our silos, stop having a program here and a program there, all of which may be good, and start working collectively towards ensuring that every single one of our children succeeds. Because that we all know is an answer to poverty. When every single one of our children has the opportunity to succeed in school, we will have a vibrant, thriving community, and our young people will want to stay because they will be able to create those jobs and those opportunities for themselves here because they know that we believe in them and that we've given them that opportunity. Is that it?
No.
Again, we have a lot of work ahead of us, but I believe that I've demonstrated that I have the experience to move our city forward, the understanding of our challenges, and the relationships that I've developed, particularly over the last 4 years, with our workforce, which is a tremendous workforce. They want to work hard. They want the tools that they need in order to succeed. I know the investments that we need to make in order to bring our city into the 21st century so that we can save money, so that we can provide those tools not only to our employees but to you, our residents, so that you have access to information in real time and we can start to shine a bright light on the issues that we've been talking about for decades but haven't been able to solve. I'm ready to solve those issues. I'm ready to move our city forward, and I believe I have the background, the experience, and the leadership style to lead our city into its next chapter. So thank you.